Welcome to a more in-depth view of all the purchases and pickups I've made during Black Friday of 2024. I want to sit down and get a little more into detail about my reasoning for picking these games up and kind of what they mean to me and where they're going and probably the order in which I'll get around to playing them in. Now, if you watch my shorts, you probably saw this pile already and this pile over here, and this is all the games I picked up from Amazon, I believe, Target, and GameStop this year. There wasn't a ton of stuff that I wanted, but there was enough discounts on a fair amount of newer games that I decided just to go for it. And there's a few older games that I found at a decent price used, so here we are. So first things first, you'll notice there's a fair amount of PS4 games over here, and that's because I picked them up from anywhere between I think it was $10 to $20 each, and I got them mainly for Game Club. The kids love the Injustice game, so I found Injustice 2 a pretty good price. Oddly enough, people enjoyed Cookie Mama at the club, so I found a Cookie Mama game for dirt cheap and picked it up, brand new. I've been owing it to the kids who love wrestling and to the people who watch me on TikTok and YouTube that also love wrestling to bring in a wrestling game for them, so here we are right now. And finally, NBA 2K21 was pretty cheap, and that'll be a nice little PS4 edition. The kids do love their 2K games. I'm not a fan of sports games, I'm a fan of sports. That's okay, they like them, and I will support them best I can. Something that probably won't go to school is Mortal Kombat 10, which I don't have a copy of. I borrowed my brother-in-law's Xbox copy and never gave it back, so I probably should give that back, and that's why I bought this. Moving right along to the PS5, and there's going to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, controversy or stuff to discuss here, because I did pick up some interesting titles, as I'm sure you can see from the front of this. Now, the first thing I picked up was this game called Lords of the Fallen. As far as I understand, or from what I remember in the marketing, it was a Souls-like game, and that's great and all. In fact, it has a very Demon's Souls, and it has a very Dark Souls, I guess you can say, aesthetic to it, Elden Ring aesthetic to it, and people said that they patched it to make it good. I'm not sure what that means. All I know is this game was everywhere. When it came out, it was everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing posters, advertisements, commercials, everywhere online, everywhere in real life. That's all I remember about the game. And then everyone just stopped talking about it after a couple days. So I figured for $20 brand new, I'll pick it up. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. It's no big deal. But I didn't want to spend full price on a game like Dark Souls because I'm not a huge Dark Souls fan. I love Bloodborne, but I just cannot get in the Dark Souls series. I finished Elden Ring. Still can't get into Dark Souls. I've tried my best, but unfortunately it's not happening. So that's that one there. This is a game I picked up slightly before Black Friday, mainly because I do judge a book by its cover. So this one looked interesting to me and my wife, and I guess for me personally, I'm always interested to see what people's takes on religiosity is, aside from my personal views, which I'll never get into. Definitely an interesting adventure so far. We played it for a couple hours. My only problem with games like this is that they really need to be just a little bit more like well done. It's a very bland game in terms of like visuals. I know it's supposed to be like desolate, but it's definitely interesting. I think we'll end up playing it with my brother-in-law and my sister on the weekends from now on and get through it slowly but surely, but definitely interesting title. I'm not sure if I recommend it yet. Another really cheap game that is surprisingly good would be this Avatar game, which it's an Avatar game in 2023, 2024. I'm not sure how many people are just banging the door down for that. But so far I put a couple hours into it, and it's really pretty. Boy, is it really pretty. If you have a nice setup, a very nice TV, you probably pick this up if it's $20 or less, and just go around exploring Pandora. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I didn't know it was first person when I bought it. And that's going to be a problem for me because I get really bad motion sickness. It took me a while to get through Call of Duty, Black Ops 6 recently, so I'm not sure how well I'm going to do trying to make it through this one here, if I will make it through it. But it does seem fun, and although the story is just whatever, I do want to keep trying to go through it and play this one. I think it'll be fun to play in between playing some of these other things that I have here. I have no idea what this is about. It kind of looks like a horror game. I judge a book by its cover, and it looked neat. So hopefully we'll pull this out one night when we have some family over, and we'll get together and play horror games, as is our tradition, it seems. But otherwise, I have no idea what this is about, and all I know is this is another game from GameStop that was supposed to be brand new, but as you can see, it's been gutted and opened, and probably someone took it home to play it. My wife and I love to get into arguments about nothing, mainly grammar, so we decided that Monopoly was right up our alley. We do play Monopoly on the Switch once in a while, but we have this PS5 version. It was dirt cheap, and so now we can get angry at each other in full 4K resolution and have a really, really unpleasant next morning. I was really on the fence about the Silent Hill 2 remake. I didn't play the first one, but I know they changed some stuff, and I didn't play the first one where it's gonna matter that much to me. I don't like the major changes of things, but either way, I've heard nothing but good things. People seem to enjoy it, and I thought it'd be fun. Again, a horror game, get together with the family. That's what we do. We get together, we play horror games together. So this was not dirt cheap, but it was a lot cheaper than it was when it came out, when I almost bought it brand new. So I'm glad I waited for the sales. And by the way, in the middle of this video is this advice. Always wait for Black Friday sales. Always wait for Black Friday sales, because it saved me a fair amount of money on not only this game, but one down here in the pile. Another first-person game I bought and realized was first-person after it, but I'm still going to try. I loved the RoboCop movies when I was a kid. Loved RoboCop, so here we are. I had to pick up the game, which people said was really good. So it's always good to see that licensed games are good, and I will give them a shot if they're good. But this was not dirt cheap, but it was still, again, a lot cheaper than it was purchased brand new. So we'll check that one out. I believe it's a first-person shooter game. Hopefully it'll be fun. Now this is the controversial one. So I ended up picking up Forspoken, and I don't know why. I know it's one of those Square games that came out and vanished almost immediately. Almost people were just annoyed by the game. I remember reading endless articles about how the protagonist just kept talking, just all that extra chatty modern gaming stuff. I don't know anything about that. I think the world looked kind of cool to explore. I think the premise was kind of cool. Now, if it's fun to play, we'll find out. If it's enjoyable to play, we'll find out. And if there's a patch that kind of quiets the narrator down, that'd be cool too. I did see some clips from this, and boy, the dialogue was just a little bit cringy. And I think that's why this one vanished and got discounted pretty deeply, pretty quickly. So I'll give it a chance. I'll always willing to give it a chance, even if it's showing poorly in the press or on YouTube or TikTok. I want to try to give it a chance to see what's up with it. And down the last couple here, we got Armored Core Fires of Rubicon. And the last time I played an Armored Core game was PS1. It was a demo disc. Maybe it was Armored Core 2. I don't remember exactly. But this is one of those games where I'm going to try it out because it's a FromSoft game and they do make great stuff. But boy, the hype around this one was real. Everyone thought this was going to be the next big, huge revival of a series from FromSoft, and it was going to probably take over the Dark Souls and the Elden Ring stuff and blah, blah, blah. People went nuts for this. They were making lore videos, all this other crazy stuff. No one talks about it anymore. No one talks about it anymore. I had to end up getting a used copy because I missed the sale on the brand new copies. I think it was a $5 difference. But I'm going to try it. I'm probably going to enjoy it a little bit. I just can't get over the fact that everyone thought this was it, man. This is the big FromSoft revival of their old franchise. It's going to be huge. You're going to make sequels. Everyone's going to be excited. No one's talking about it. No one's talking about it. I don't think it has the staying power of the fan base or the appeal like Elden Ring does. Either way, I want to give it a chance to see what it's like. And last but not least, Persona 6, Metaphor ReFantazio, a game I didn't even know was coming out, and I waited again, didn't want to buy it full price, so I waited till Black Friday. It's a good thing I did. It went on sale for, I think, $20 off. Something like that. And so far, I'm glad I waited. I don't know what else to make of it right now. The style, though, for like the menu and the combat and everything else is right on point for what you'd expect from an Atlas game. But so far, I'm at about 2.5 hours in. Nothing's really grabbed me yet. There's some mystery there, and I'm going to give it a fair shot. I'm going to put about 5 or 10 hours in before I decide if I like it or not. But I'm glad I waited for that kind of stuff because, you buy it at full price, you pop it in, you play for a couple hours, and you don't like it, boy, that's just disappointing. And then you're pretty much losing money trying to trade it in. And I don't like returning things either, so I tend not to do that. But I'm glad I waited for this to try it out. I'm hoping it picks up and gets better. But so far, yeah, it definitely has the vibe. It definitely has the style. It just doesn't have that factor that pulls me in yet. So these are the games that I picked up this Black Friday that will hopefully get me through the whole gaming year. Now, there will be other releases I'm sure that pop up there that I really want, and I'll pick those up here and there when I want to. I'll try to use credit card discounts, things like that to get a better price on them. But in general, this is what I've been doing for the past like 5 or 6 years, especially post having children. I wait, I save the money up, and then I have a certain budget I'll spend for games once a year, basically, and here they are. These will last me most likely the entire year, especially games like Metaphor and RPG, especially other games like Avatar, this open world one here, that'll probably burn a lot of time. So I try to get my money's worth out of these the best that I can. I'm sure there are some things that people will be excited to see here in this pile of games. I'm sure there are some things people are cursing right now in this pile of games. But that's my thing. I try to give everyone a fair shot when it comes to everything, especially gaming. So although other people might disagree with some of these choices, I understand why. Don't get me wrong, I'm not ignorant to anything. I'm definitely have been on the internet for a long time. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I know why people get angry. I know why people give praise to things, be it fair or undeserved, whatever. So whatever your opinions are, I'm sure you have them. Feel free to leave them below in these pickups, and hopefully they're all good, and we'll see you in the next one.